What's up guys, back with another episode. This is going to be my second night in the new Storyteller Overland Hilt. Now I decided to come up to the mountains for, of course, a little bit more testing, but kind of a relaxing trip as well. For this video, I'm just going to be kind of doing my regular camping thing. I'm gonna hang out here, get some work done, cook some meals in this huge kitchen that we have over here. And of course, I'll be walking you guys through some more of the functionality of this pretty incredible truck. Now, if you guys haven't caught my initial walkthrough of this truck, I will leave a link for it right up here, and I went through basically everything that I could see with my eyes. We did interior, we did exterior, we talked about the chassis itself, the suspension, and I'm still getting a little bit of a feel for it. Before Storyteller takes his prototype back, I'm going to bring you guys a little bit more details, kind of piggybacking off of that original video. But today, we're just going to be hanging out, solo camping, and look at all this space that I have. Honestly, it's kind of lonely being in a vehicle this big when you're completely by yourself. I could have like 5 friends with me. So I'm gonna set up for work back here at the dinette and I'm gonna get some stuff done. Well guys, 8 o'clock at night now. I got some work done and then might have taken a little bit of a nap because it's super warm in here. It's currently about 19 degrees outside and it's going down to a low of 11 tonight. There is snow in the forecast, so I'm hoping it's not going to be too bad because I don't really want to find out what it's like driving this thing in deep snow. We already had a lot of snow on the way up here. And if the snow gets any deeper, I think it might be quite challenging to get out of the spot that I'm currently in. Now, in the last video with the Hilt, I mentioned that I just hopped in here and didn't have basically anything, nothing to cook with, no clothing. I just grabbed my camera gear and went out to camp. So today, I literally just stole stuff from my kitchen at home. I wanted to test out what it's like cooking with this dual induction cooktop. I'm hoping these pans work with induction. I didn't even really think about that. We'll find out. Let's get this inverter on and let's see. It turns out I had to plug this in and there is a little kind of a hole over here. Check this out. I found a little Easter egg. There's a Pac-Man with some dots and he's going to eat a ghost. There is a power outlet under there, so this thing is plugged in. I don't know if this is the first time this is being used. I don't think it is, but now we have power going to the induction cooktop. Let's see if these things work. Please work, please work. I don't want to starve tonight. Let's do power. Oh no. These don't work with induction, do they? No. Come on. Well guys, it's a completely new day. That was definitely my fault. I should have checked the pans that I was bringing, but I put my van in storage while I have the Hilt, so I didn't have access to my like nice induction cookware that I keep in my van. I went back, I grabbed my pots and pans out of my van, and now we're going to give cooking in the Hilt a shot. Let's just double, triple check that this works now. If anyone is interested in this stacking cookware that I have, I'll leave a link for it down in the description below. It's super non-stick. This stuff is great. It all stacks together. We have a big pan, which is right here, a removable handle, which goes on the pan, a small pot, like a sauce pot, and then a big kind of pasta pot with a single lid, which works for basically everything. And then a big lid too, for when we're making pasta. Now, please work. Oh yeah. Okay, now we're gonna cook. Got to turn the water pump on. Now I can use some nice filtered water, which my van does not have. Alright guys, dinner is served. Southwest beef cavatappi, some green peppers in there, some scallions, some cheese, some red pepper crema. We're gonna test this out first. One bite, everyone knows the rules. Oh, it's hot, it's very hot. It's pretty dang good, not gonna lie. I'm gonna try to eat this while I explain to you guys how it was cooking in the Hilt. Pros and cons. Mostly pros, but there were some things that I want to mention. First up, storage. There is storage all throughout this thing. Very easy to keep everything you need to make a full-blown meal for yourself, for 2 people, 4 people, whatever it may be. Once you get everything out and set it all up, it's pretty straightforward, but the cover for the sink and the stove, they don't really have a place to like fit in anywhere. So right now my camera is sitting on top of the one that covers the induction cooktop, which is not a huge deal, but I would like to see some kind of like slot to place them in. That way when you are using the sink and the cooktops, you have a place to store those. And then when it came to cooking, I started by boiling pasta, which is obviously going to take a high heat, and then I started everything else, the peppers, the beef. And as soon as I put the beef on, I noticed that you cannot run both of the induction cooktops left and right all the way up high. So essentially the way it was working is the left side all the way on high. When I turned the right side on, it was all the way on low. And then as I would bump the right side up, the left side would lower. So you can kind of meet in the middle there, but you can't run them both on like a high or medium high heat. There might be a way to do it, but just from my experience right now, there wasn't like an easy way to just set it and forget it. So might be something to do with the power draw. The Hilt does have 2 3,000 watt inverters, I believe, so it should be able to handle the power. I think it might be something with the actual cooktop that it doesn't allow you to like draw that much power. So I still made it work, and this is really delicious. The next thing I noticed is that it started to heat up in here pretty quickly. Obviously I have 2 big pots and pans going over there. So one thing that's different about the Hilt compared to my van is you have dual max air fans, and with the mode comm over there I was able to set it on a circulating mode, so it was actually sucking in fresh air back here, cold air, and then the front it was exhausting. So we had nice cold air moving through the cabin, and then it would kind of pick up all of the condensation and then it sucked all of that out. So pretty cool feature. I have seen Sprinter vans that run a setup like that, and I think it is a super smart idea. If you don't want to run an AC and you just want to get by with fans, dual fans like that, which you can use like a circulating setting on, is definitely the way to go. Cooking a meal like this, for me, in a small space like this, I would consider it pretty extravagant. I would probably not try to cook something like this in my van because I only have a single cooktop in there and the space is limited. But in here it was absolutely no problem. I actually used the sink cover as kind of a cutting board, so that'll be really easy for me to wash once I'm done eating. Plenty of counter space. I just kind of had ingredients thrown all around, and yeah, I mean, I would much rather cook in the Hilt than I would my own van, just because you can make stuff that's a little more elaborate. It's better than just making like spaghetti. You have 2 pots going, pot and pan going. It's like the basic needs. Oh, it's still so hot. Whew. I, of course, didn't touch the microwave. I haven't used that or the convection side of things there. I don't think I've ever used a convection oven, so I'm not sure what I could actually get away with cooking in there, but I'm sure for quick meals you could throw a frozen burrito in there and it would be really nice and easy. You might be able to even cook like little pizzas in there, possibly. But for me, I think I would prefer to just cook on the induction cooktop. Now I had the induction cooktops running there for, I would say maybe like 15 minutes on the pasta side and then maybe 20-25 minutes on the rest of the cooking surface. And we didn't even put a dent in our power. The highest draw that I saw, I believe, was about 1800 watts. And now that everything has cooled down, we still have like 6 days worth of charge left. So power, no issue. Plenty of space to cook meals. You got a huge fridge and freezer combo. As long as you have the correct induction pans, then cooking is obviously a breeze. So I'm going to eat a little bit more of this and then we'll dive into, I don't know, what do you do after you eat? Shower? And then go to sleep? Okay, now it's time to test out the shower. While I was cleaning everything up in here, which was a breeze to do by the way, there's just so much space to work in, I turned the hot water on. So should have been plenty of time for the water to get hot. You can tell I'm not on a level surface right now, so the water probably won't drain perfectly. That is why I wish the Liquid Spring company, this isn't a Storyteller thing, but Liquid Spring needs to come out with a leveling setting. That way, when you park, it uses like a gyroscope or something to figure out where the truck's level. Because right now, the truck is not level. You can adjust it yourself up and down, like front and back, things like that, but it's hard to get it perfectly level. I'm sure eventually Liquid Spring will get around to doing that. Now the shower, you press the button in, you can raise that up, shower head turns around, and I guess I can just kind of shower it like that. Let's actually see if this water is hot. Oh yeah. So I just checked the cabin real quick, and one thing that I noticed is that on the Storyteller vans there is a hot water recirc, which basically moves water through the lines. That way when you go and get a shower, you don't have to wait for the cold water to run through until you get hot water. The Hilt doesn't seem to have that, but the water got really hot really quickly. So I'm not sure if that will be an issue with this thing or not. Doesn't seem like it would be, but I'm sure owners in the future will be able to better answer a question like that. I'm gonna hop in the shower and try to get a little bit cleaner than I am right now. And this part, I obviously can't film, so be right back. And we're back. I'm all clean now. I hate to say this because the Halo shower in the Storyteller vans is great, but the Hilt is better when it comes to the shower. Now I found out a few things while I was in here actually using this shower. First up, you of course have the sink, hot and cold water there for brushing your teeth or whatever you may be doing. And then this knob right here controls the shower head. The shower head is obviously bigger than the ones in the Storyteller vans, and it is a lot nicer. So there's a few different settings. If I push it all the way this way, turn the water on, that's kind of like the off setting. So I just kind of showered how I did in my van. Very conservative on water. However, you have 120 gallons, so you can take a proper hot shower in here. The water was also very, very hot, so if this was my own vehicle, I would probably go in and change some settings on the mixing valve, make it not so dang hot, but if you are the people that like scalding hot showers, this is it. So, all the way to the left is kind of the off position, and then if we click it again, we have like a powerful stream. One more click, and we get kind of like a combo, a little bit softer, and then all the way you get a stream out of the middle. So it's kind of cool having different options there depending on how you like your shower to feel. Another thing that I found out, that where you store the shower head over here, this thing is directional, so when it is stowed, there's an arrow inside here pointing downwards. You can actually rotate this. Now that arrow is facing upwards, and it angles it a little bit better, so you could kind of shower hands-free, I guess, if you wanted to. And then to store this thing, flip this back around. I'm gonna run this all the way to the bottom, pull the hose up and over, get that seated in there, and then push it down the rest of the way. Now this thing is kind of taut here. It's not gonna bounce around, rattle, make noise. Pretty efficient design. I like that a lot. Two other quick notes, which I mentioned before, but you can store shampoo and other toiletry stuff up here, and then you have a max air fan to vent out all of your condensation from your hot shower. Now it is approaching bedtime, and I currently have all of my camera gear sitting in the bed, which I have been sleeping in. The mattress is surprisingly pretty nice. We'll check that out in a second, but I had a few people on the Facebook group and in some previous videos ask me about the dinette sleeping area. So again, I have not received a demo of this truck, so I'm gonna figure this out the way anyone else would. Storyteller offered to take me through everything, and I politely declined. I'm gonna figure it out myself. So the dinette table removes somehow, just like that right there, and I believe it stores right under here. Looks like the leg clicks into place right back here. You do have some room to store some other things in this little compartment if you want to. And then I believe the top of the table will store right here. This is kind of cool. I don't know if it was an intended feature, but I can actually reach through to the pass-through in the back and grab things out of there. Having extra storage like that on the outside for kind of like a garage is nice, but the one downside, which is pretty apparent, is that bikes won't fit in there. You could fit skis and snowboards and one wheels and anything else like that, but you're not going to be able to fit basically any bicycle in there. So the tabletop stores right like that. And now for probably the most difficult part, figuring out which cushions go where to turn this thing into a bed. These backs here have Velcro on them, and there's some more Velcro down here. So I'm assuming it will kind of meet in the middle like this. You can tell I've never done this before. You know what? I wonder if this fits right here. I don't think this is the correct way, but that would be a smart way to do it. You could use these as like a support across there. Don't worry, I'll figure it out. Something like this. I'm not exactly sure how they want you to set this up because there's really no support in the middle here. These front two cushions are the only ones with rigid backs on them, so I don't think this is quite correct, but I mean, it works. You could sleep 2 adults here, no problem at all. I kind of think I was onto something with the tabletop cover here fitting in this space because that would obviously give you the rigidity, but it doesn't seem like it fits. Maybe that is because this is a prototype truck, or maybe I'm going crazy and have it all completely wrong. So the dinette here does turn into a very large bed. I just don't know the exact way to do it right now. You could also just kind of take naps. One person here, and one person over here too. Now, last but not least, the main bed. This ladder stores in there and is kind of held in place with magnets. Pull it out till it clicks and then it drops down. You of course don't really have access to the pass-through when it's like this, but it can open up a little bit. And then I will bring you guys up here with me as we go to bed. So super spacious up here, and there's a lot of storage and some other features. We have window there, and right above my head here we've got another window. Blackout shade, bug screen, and you can actually open this window up. So in the summertime, that would be so nice to just be stargazing out through this. One con that I've already found, at least from my perspective, is that these kind of blackout curtains that accordion up and down, they're not completely blackout. You'll notice all these little holes here. You do get some daylight in through there in the morning, and I'm someone who likes to sleep in complete darkness, so there's that. Headroom up here is definitely a little bit limited as well. Like, I can't even sit up fully, but that's something that you just kind of get used to. And then over here by this window, we have some power outlets, USB, USB-C, ton of storage. We have this big compartment here, which runs through to this right here. We have the same setup on the other side, and we also have 2 nighttime switches here for preset 2. So I changed the lighting presets to reflect that when I press this in bed. So we have these lights dimmed, we have some floor lights on over there. If you have to wake up and go to the restroom in the middle of the night, you can just simply press that and have no light, or a little light like this. Another thing that I like is that you can actually reach the mode comm from the bed. So all you have to do is sit up a little bit and you can adjust your heat, your temperature, check your water levels, your power levels, and everything from right up here in the bed. So pretty cool touch. That is actually something that I wish you could do with the van. There's often times in the middle of the night where I wake up and it's just too hot in the van, so I want to turn the heater down. You gotta get out of bed, scurry up to the front, adjust it, and then lay back down. It would be cool on some future Storyteller van models to have like a secondary little mode comm kind of towards the bed area. That way you can adjust that stuff without hopping out of bed. But that's just my opinion. Now it's getting pretty late. I'm going to actually go to bed now, and we're gonna leave this video with a little bit of bad news. I got the phone call today from Storyteller that they need the truck and they are going to be picking it up tomorrow. So with that being said, I'm still going to bring you guys one more quick kind of walk around video, talk a little bit more about the cab of the truck, how it is to drive it, the suspension and things like that. And then after tomorrow, the truck will no longer be in my possession. I'm sure it will go to some good hands, and you guys can follow along with the Hilt journey. And once they're actually out on the road, over on Storyteller's Instagram, on their website, on YouTube, hopefully you guys see these trucks everywhere, because I've really enjoyed my time with it thus far, and I would really like to have it when it's not wintertime in Colorado. Thinking Utah, Southwest United States, Arizona, Nevada, some places like that. That's where a truck like this would really shine. So that is all that I had for this video. This is what it's like living with the new Storyteller GXV Hilt. If you guys have any questions about the living aspects of this thing, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll try to answer anything as best as possible. And if you're new to the channel, consider clicking subscribe. I make new videos every single week. As always, thank you for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.